Hello, welcome to the talk. Today I'm going to present the paper on guillotine separability of squares and rectangles. My name is Madhusudan Reddy. I'm a third year undergraduate student from IIT Kharagpur. This is a joint work with Dr. Arindam Khan, IISc Bangalore. Let me introduce you to some basic definitions and terms. So piece, what is a piece? A piece is a rectangular region with disjoint axis parallel rectangles embedded in it. Right, so this is an example. The guillotine cut is an end-to-end axis parallel cut, dividing the piece into two subpieces. Right, so here it's dividing the piece P into P1 and P2. Right, guillotine cutting sequence. What is a guillotine cutting sequence? Is a sequence of guillotine cuts. Each guillotine cut dividing the subpiece into two new subpieces. Right, so if you can see an example, the first cut divides P into P1 and P2. Second cut P2 into P2 and P3 and so on. Right, until each subpiece has at most one rectangle in it. Right, that is a guillotine cutting sequence. What are stages? So in guillotine cutting sequence, at every step we do a single cut. Instead of a single cut, what if we do a number of vertical cuts or a number of horizontal cuts, like a slice? We see an example. This is the first stage. A pair of horizontal cuts, the second stage, and a pair of vertical cuts, the third stage. So in stages, cuts alternate between vertical and horizontal. Right. So the given example is a three-stage cutting sequence. Yeah. A rectangle is said to be killed if in this guillotine cutting sequence, a rectangle is intersected by any of the cuts. Then we say the rectangle is killed. Right. So here in this example, R2 is killed in the first cut. And so what do you mean by extraction? A rectangle is extracted if it is not killed and is the only rectangle in the subpiece. So in this guillotine cutting sequence, for this example, R2 is killed and rest of the rectangles are extracted. Right. So what is guillotine separability? A configuration is guillotine separable if there is a guillotine cutting sequence that extracts all the rectangles. And are all configurations guillotine separable? No. You can see this configuration, we can't avoid not killing one of the rectangles. Right. So naturally we have to define something called extraction factor. So by extraction factor, in the cardinality case, it's the total number of rectangle extracted out of the initial number of rectangles. And in the weighted variant is the fraction of weight, where each rectangle is initially given some weight. Right, so here the extraction factor is 3/4. Here is half. Here it's 1 because we are extracting all of them. Right, so okay, so what is the point? So the goal is to extract a constant fraction of rectangles. Given n rectangles, we want to extract a constant fraction of them. And the conjecture is it is possible. It is always possible to extract a constant fraction of them. So then why is this problem important? So if this problem is true, we have a constant approximation for the maximum independent set of rectangles problem. So what is the MISR problem? So the MISR problem is basically, again, given piece and set of axis parallel rectangles, now they need not be disjoint. So the problem is to find the maximum cardinality independent set. So by independent set, I mean two rectangles are dependent if they're intersecting. And naturally, from this definition, we can have a graph and the notion of independent sets. So the maximum number of rectangles that are not intersecting each other. So that's the optimal independent set. So and it's NP hard. Right. So for this example, this is the optimal independent set. And it's hard to find. So what will we do? We'll try to find something else. The optimal guillotine separable independent set. Right. You can see these set of rectangles are guillotine separable. These are not. We'll find the optimal guillotine separable independent set. And it turns out we can easily find it. So what is the connection now? We're finding this, and the conjecture says these two are closely related in terms of the number. The guillotine separable one is a constant fraction of the non-guillotine separable instants, maybe. So finding this will be a constant approximation of the optimal independent set, right? So that's the connection. So the dynamic program is simple. We do some basic coordinate compression, and so the recursion is basically we check all the initial first cuts, all 2n possible horizontal and vertical cuts, and assuming we know the answers. I mean, we know the optimal guillotine separable independent sets in those sub pieces. We just look which first cut gives the maximum number of total rectangles, right? And the thing is, we can just concatenate them, and the result will be the set of rectangles will be guillotine separable. That is a nice property that we have. Yeah. So we just find check all the initial 2n possible horizontal cuts and 2n possible vertical cuts, and see which cut gives the best possible optimal guillotine separable independent set, right? And coming to previous work, so this question was asked, the more general question, given a set of disjoint convex compact objects, and the guillotine cuts are allowed to be slant now. It's a more general cut. So can we separate a constant fraction of them? It's a more general question asked by Urrutia, and the answer was no. It was answered by Park and Tardosh. So they gave a counterexample using line segments, in which you can extract order n power log 3 to the base 2, right? So, but the conjecture for rectangles is still unanswered. Rectangles and axis parallel guillotine cuts. Yeah, coming to upper bounds. So just like previous upper bound that we can extract at most order n power log 3 to the base 2 for line segments, what is the best upper bound for rectangles that we have? So Abed et al., Abed and others gave a configuration where we can't extract half of it when n is large using guillotine cuts. So that is upper bound. And the thing is, the example is squares when the rectangles are actually squares, and it's unweighted. So I mean, they didn't use weights to lower the upper bound or use rectangles, exploit the fact that rectangles might have a lower upper bound. So we don't know if the upper bound is lesser than half, and a lower bound. So what is the best extraction algorithm we have? So Park and Tardos gave a 1 by 2 log n by 2 log n extracting algorithm for unweighted case. And so the question for rectangles is unanswered, whether the conjecture is true. So naturally, we have to try to attack special cases. So for squares, they proved that it's true, in fact, for unweighted and weighted case. So we made improvements to the algorithm and also fixed few bugs actually. So we proved 1 by 40 in unweighted and 1 by 160 in weighted case. And these are non-trivial improvements. Like we had to come up with some interesting observations that give this improvement. Right. So how the basic constant accretion algorithm goes, let us see now. So the squares are divided into a hierarchy of levels. So the square of length in this range is said to be in level I. And in the first grid sampling, we either select odd or even level squares randomly. And each square remains with probability half in this step. And this is a new sampling step that we added to fix some problems that were there in previous algorithm. And in the second step, we pick a random x and y to shift the grid. So what is a grid? It's not defined yet. So let's see what's a grid. So grid actually looks like this. It's a set of lines, horizontal and vertical lines of different levels. Again, the lines have a level. Yeah. So this is a shifted grid. That was the initial position. This is a shifted grid with the using a random shift. So what are grid lines? These are the level 0 grid lines, level 1 grid lines. So the gap between level 1 grid lines is n by 2 between two successive vertical lines and two successive horizontal lines. And in level 2 is n by 4. So n by 2 power I is the spacing between these vertical and horizontal grid lines. Right. So the more the level, the more fine grained. We also define something called cell. A level I cell is the square formed by two consecutive vertical and horizontal level I minus 1 grid lines. So you can see level 2 grid cell is formed by consecutive level 1 grid lines. So what is the second step? We delete a square of level I if a grid line of lesser level intersects it. And this can happen with probability at most 3/4. So in expectation, 1/4 of the squares survive this step. And again, a cell can have as many as 9 level I squares. So we just want one of them. We'll sample just one of them. And again, this step is very weak sampling. We can actually sample inversely proportional to the area of square. Then that will give better constants. Instead of 1 by 9, we'll have something like 1 by 4 point something. Yeah. So anyway, so we do this sampling step, third sampling. So the final sampling, we define something called conflict graph. So two rectangles, so two squares, S and R are conflicting if one intersects the cell boundary of the other. So this is S, this is the boundary of the cell of S, and R is intersecting it. So R and S are conflicting. Why we define this is because in the algorithm, we cut along grid lines. So if you want to cut along this grid line, R will get killed. So there is a conflict. So either of them will die. So we can just join an edge. So it turns out H is 5 colorable. Previously, without the first sampling and all and stuff, previously H was 9 colorable, but it improved to 5, and it turns out independent sets of H are guillotine subtotal. And so yeah, so we just pick a random independent set. So any square survives with probability 1 by 5 this step. So overall, a square survives with probability 1 by 360. So this says in expectations, we get n by 360 of the squares. So the conjecture is 2 for squares. So this is the algorithm, just summing up, right? Our results. So our contribution is that we give a two-stage algorithm O n log n time, which extracts a fraction of n by log n plus 1 number of rectangles, or 1 by log n plus 1 fraction, even in weighted case. Another algorithm is 1 by log n plus 2 to the base 3 fraction. So this is an improvement in fractions. We don't break the log n barrier. And constant fraction for few special cases. So previously the special case that was attacked is squares. So now we extend it to things like fat, part similar, balanced, and so on. So let's see it later. And upper bounds on extraction factor parameterized by number of stages. So we give an upper bound on the extraction factor if you are limiting the number of stages you're using. So say if you're just using, okay, I'm going to use 4 or 5 stages for my algorithm. My algorithm uses only that much. Then we can say, okay, then you cannot extract a constant fraction, right? And obviously improve extraction fraction for squares, right? So briefly, what is the idea of 1 by log n plus 1? We divide the rectangles into groups, log n plus 1 groups, each of them guillotine separable. So as you can see, these colored lines, the middle line is called pole of level 0, and the rectangle belongs to level 0. And these three rectangles belong to level 1, or you can see briefly why we can extract 1 by log n plus 1 fraction of the rectangles. As you can see, these colored lines, the middle black line is called pole of level 1. So the rectangle that is intersecting it is said to belong to, say, group 1, right? And it's guillotine separable. And those rectangles that are not intersecting black but intersecting blue are said to belong to group 2. They're intersecting poles of level 2, right? So, and as you can see, these are guillotine separable as well. How just cut along the middle line and extract both all the rectangles from both those subpieces by just slicing horizontally, right? This argument works. Like all of them, these are guillotine separable that way. By cutting along all the poles of lesser level, we get tiny strips, all of them, all the rectangles in each strip lying in a vertical line. So we can just slice them horizontally. So that's why it's a two-stage separable. So we come up, so instead of this binary partition, we can do some trinary partition. So we get improvement in constants. We can extract 1 by log n plus 2 to the base 3. So you can see this T shape, all the rectangles intersecting the T shape are guillotine separable. So that's the observation. So we can cover all the rectangles with log n plus 2 to the base 3 number of classes of levels of T. Like this is a T of level 1, and each of the subpieces we can have T smaller T's of level 2. So we can capture all the rectangles in that many T's, using that many T's, right? So yeah, upper bounds parameterized by stages. So the example is this. So it's inspired from the upper bound for squares. It's called square skew grid, the K cross K square skew grid. So what we do is we take one of these and look at the diagonal holes, the painted blue, and we put a smaller miniature version of this into each of the diagonal holes, and we keep on doing it. We look at those smaller ones and the diagonal holes of those and put an even smaller version. So if you do this alpha times, the configuration you have is called level alpha K cross K square skew grid. So, and we do a weighting so that the squares of each level get total weight 1. So this is the configuration with total weight alpha. So we prove these upper bounds, right? If you're using constant stages, you can extract at most order log n by log n fraction. You need this many stages in order to guarantee constant. So right, unweighted, we have similar bounds and similar construction. Not exactly similar, little different, but yeah. So the same motivation. Right, so this is the extraction fraction that we get. If we are using C stages, we can guarantee at most this much. So you can see the previous two results are based on this for weighted case. So yeah, constant fraction extraction for special cases of rectangles. So right, previously squares was done by Abed and others. So now we extend the work to other special cases. So first, fat rectangles. So fat rectangles are when the width and height of a rectangular, the ratio of them is bounded by a constant. So suppose beta is 1 for squares. The width by height is bounded by 1, and the height by width. So the extraction factor is 1 by 1584 into log beta plus 2 here. So what's nice about this is when beta is 1, it shows that it's a constant here. And when beta is n, which is the general case of rectangles, it shows that it's order 1 by log beta, log n. So this formula nicely captures both the results, both the best results we have. Not in terms of complexity, that it's a constant for squares and it's a order 1 by log n for rectangles, right? So this is a nice result. And delta large rectangles are those which have one of the dimensions extra large. So meaning, say suppose width of all the rectangles is at least gamma delta times n, where delta is some constant, or height is large. So right, in that case, we can again extract a constant fraction in 2 stages, even for weighted case. So yeah, previously also it's for weighted case. Part-similar instances are those when the widths or heights are in a similar ratio, right? So the h max by h min or the w max by w min is bounded by some constant. So in that case, again, we have a constant fraction section, that too in 2 stages, right? So antilaminar is an interesting instance where, so if you look at all these rectangles, if we project them onto x-axis, these intervals are not contained in each other. I mean, this should happen either in y direction or x direction, that no rectangle is contained in other, no corresponding interval is contained in other. Then we can extract half in using 2 stages, even in weighted case. So the result for balance is actually for unweighted, not weighted. So what is a balance instance? It's sort of like all the rectangles are uniformly distributed, right? So a balance instance is that in which any piece with k number of rectangles has a balanced cut. So what is a balanced cut? A balanced cut is that cut which cuts a relatively lesser number of rectangles and divides the piece into equal number of rectangles. So the 2 new pieces that form has may not be equal, but the ratio of the rectangles on both the pieces has to be bounded by a constant ratio r, which we call the balance ratio. So, and by small we mean it cuts k power 1 minus epsilon number of rectangles, where epsilon is a small number. So if we have this property, balance the property, then we can extract a constant depending on r and epsilon, right? So for example, when epsilon is half and r is 1, this is an example which is balanced in such a way. So actually, something interesting is that this is the kind of example we came up with potential guy for breaking the upper bound half. So it's still not proved whether we can extract less than half or not, but so someone else can try. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's a work. And so yeah, open problems. So the upper bound is still half, and the upper bound did not use weights and did not use rectangles. They used unweighted squares and they gave the upper bound half. So can you, yeah, we tried using rectangles and weights, but still we could not beat half. So suppose if that is, it is true that even in weighted case, even for rectangles, we can always extract a half, at least half, then it's a huge thing because we'll have a 2 approximation for MWISR, not only MISR, MWISR. So the best results for MISR and MWISR at this point is order log n and order log n. I mean, previously it was order log n by log n, but recently there was a paper claiming order log n. So it's order log n. So yeah, even if you get an algorithm that extracts n by log n, it matches with the current best approximations for MISR, and the running time is a lot better because this is order n power 5, and whereas those approximation algorithms might uh, take very long. They might be impractical, right? And yeah, improve the lower bound. Yeah, as I said, break the login barrier, not yeah, in complexity. Uh, Resolve the conjecture for other important special cases like weight is area, which is very important in knapsack and bin packing variants. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.